understood by the people that you want to target. Once again, it's not just about your customers or your clientele, it's around looking at everyone else that interacts with your organisation. Volunteers, it's around why should they invest time in your organisation versus others that exist. If it's funding partners, why should they invest in your organisation relative to others? What is that competitive advantage? And ensure that it does become sustainable. And this is where, and we see it all the time in the retail sector, competing solely on price becomes a very dangerous playing field. The more you compete on price, the more likely it is that others will come in and undercut you. You want to be able to demonstrate value. And demonstrate value is more than just pricing, it's around the entire customer experience. Is it a customer experience that actually encourages repeat purchases or repeat interactions with your organisation? Pricing is part of that mix, but it is not just the sole determinant. As you look at, say, the level of service in an IKEA versus a high-end furniture store, you'd hope that your high-end furniture stores have a much better service process, much better interaction with you as a customer. Because if they don't, they're actually eroding part of the value that they provide. And the next time you look at purchasing furniture, it becomes a question of, well, if I'm getting the same base level of service, why wouldn't you go to IKEA versus higher-end furniture retailers? Ultimately, it is about being consistent. Your service, the aspects that make your broader service or product delivery need to be consistent. If you're an IKEA, you market yourself as an IKEA, and you're able to demonstrate that you get a consistent experience, and this is what to expect from IKEA. If you look at high-end fashion retailers, high-end furniture retailers, you expect a higher level of service, and that's part of the messaging that they typically tend to demonstrate. That's part of the overall consistency. Inconsistency creates confusion. If you're a not-for-profit organisation, it's around identifying what your core message is, what your core values are, and articulating that vision. The minute you create confusion, it makes it difficult to connect funding partners with the key values that enable the delivery of your services, or to connect members with the outcomes that that membership provides to your organisation. It's around understanding how the target market responds to that consistency, because part of that consistency interacts with your branding and enables you to demonstrate value. If you market yourself as an innovative organisation, how does that actually translate in practice? What value does that innovation provide to your members? What value does that interaction provide to volunteers, to your staff, to board members, and to others? Every form of contact that you have with a stakeholder leaves an impression. And this is where consistency is critical as you work through your marketing strategies. Whether it's your website, whether it's social media, whether it's the broader leaflets, your broader marketing context around leaflets, brochures, newsletters, and we conducted that poll previously looking at the mix in what people utilise. Information sessions, expos, it all leaves an impression. And you need to ensure that that impression is consistent around this is who our organisation is, this is the outcomes, or these are the outcomes that you will receive and the value you receive if you interact with our organisation. Inconsistent contact leaves an impression. And that marketing mix, and this is where it's particularly important to get ownership around the overall marketing impression. It is broader than just the marketing collateral. It is around telephone and email correspondence and how that is actually answered. If there's areas of your organisation that tend to be unresponsive or are not responding to correspondence as positively as they otherwise could be, that leaves an impression on your organisation. If there's areas of your organisation that are operating as silos and not enabling stakeholders to interact with your broader values, that impacts your ability to deliver outcomes. I thought it'd be useful to look at content as well. And this is, content revolves in copy of what it is that you want to deliver and how it is communicated. Ultimately, you want to know who you are targeting and be able to appeal directly to your readership. You want to be able to look at making a claim or offering advice. It's around ensuring that your headlines are able to grab attention. And often the AIDA formula is the one that tends to be used. The A standing for attention, gain attention through a headline, and hold it by integrating headline into the copy of your content. Headlines that have little connection with your broader content, whether it be as an article, whether it be as a newsletter, or whether it be as a poster or flyer, may gain attention, but they won't necessarily sustain interest. And this is where you want to ensure that the content actually appeals to people's emotions and creates a sense of people understanding these are the outcomes I'll be able to achieve. Because that enables you to then leverage desire, where you actually want to be able to persuade your readership to respond, and through to action, because ultimately every item that you create, you want to actually demonstrate the actions that you want someone to undertake. If it's attending an event, it's around actually delivering delivering people to those events. If it's around recruiting board members, it's around recruiting people into the board. Effective design is around understanding your medium, knowing your audience, and being able to evoke that response. Where design works is where it's integrated in and enhancing copy. Your marketing tools need to be able to deliver an integrated outcome. So copy needs to integrate with design. And while you may have a number of different people working on those various aspects, ensure that there is an overall project management that enables that integration. And this brings us to the delivery phase. And this is where we're putting everything together. So what actions will achieve your strategies? And how do they actually help achieve the strategies that you have identified? Most importantly, how is it measured? Every form of marketing is measurable. So you can identify the metrics that you want to measure. In the online world, it does tend to be relatively easy to undertake. You've got tools like Google Analytics, Google Alerts for news articles, and obviously you can measure the sharing of content on social media. In the offline world, you can use codes within marketing materials, so posters, brochures. You can use